All right, folks, what is going on? Back with another video, and today I got some Xbox stuff I want to talk about because the showcase just happened, and a little bit ups and downs with that. Couple of exclusives, a new console variant, and it's a little bit to be hyped about, I guess. I mean, to me, I thought it was a C plus maybe for the showcase, but Xbox got some things that they put out there that make you think, what really happened back in 2025. Also, what could be happening going forward, because these two topics are fairly interesting in my opinion. And we're going to talk about them. First, we're going to talk about the Xbox loss, how many people that they lost because of the 2025 price hike. And also, we're going to talk about the console exclusivity. They said it's going to be a case by case basis. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I talk about gaming and everything under an umbrella. And hopefully you guys hang out and like, share, and subscribe. Also, comment in the comment section of what you think about these two topics. All right, with that being said, let's look at this. Xbox revealed a huge number of lost Game Pass subscriptions following the 2025 price hike. Basically, they went up to $30 per month of 2029, and apparently it led to millions of subscribers abandoning the service. Now, I was one of them. I was like, yo, I don't need this for $30. I got enough games to play already. And for $30 a month, I'll just buy the games that I want. I don't need all those games. And I basically just went over to PC Game Pass for the most part. But with that being said, they lost a lot of people, and that's probably the main reason why the price hike was a bad idea, why the price hike was changed, because of the fact that, hey, you got that many people, jumping ship, which for me, to an extent, is kind of hard for me to believe that many people jump ship, but that would make you want to change prices if that's the case, of millions of subscribers leaving. So earlier this year, Asher Shamara took over Xbox CEO, replacing Phil Spencer. Shamara wasted no time making changes, and it changed from achievements, how the exclusivity is going to be handled. We're going to talk about that. And also, they changed how they're going to make the company more competitive against PlayStation, Nintendo, and Steam. Now, if they're going to do that, the main thing they're going to do is have exclusives to their platform. And I'm not talking about exclusives and PC. You're going to have stuff that's going to be only on the Xbox Series or only on Project Helix. It cannot be on Steam. It can't even be on a Microsoft Store. If you want to be competitive against PlayStation, Nintendo, and Steam, that's what you're going to have to do. Now, the whole thing about Steam and PC thing, that's a little dicey because they do have the Microsoft Store. And if they want to be competitive against Steam, they may have to find a way to put their stuff on the Microsoft Store and not on Steam, which is almost suicide in the PC world. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but we're going to get into exclusivities in a second. Like I said, a huge loss for Xbox Game Pass. While Xbox Game Pass saw multiple price increases over the years, a shift last year seemingly went too far for many users. In an interview with GameSpot, Xbox chief strategy Matthew Ball claimed the service lost millions of subscribers in the month following the price increase to $29.99. And Game Pass received the price drop this year with the caveat that Call of Duty games will no longer be added to the service day one, which honestly, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm not too worried about Call of Duty in that sense, and I know Modern Warfare 4 is about to be like bonkers, but I'm gladly willing to pay top dollar if the game is worth it. I mean, that's the thing about how I felt about the $30 Game Pass. If I'm paying $30 and I can get a few games, why don't I just wait and just buy a game and just play it and just let it be, instead of just paying that recurring theme? So that's how I felt about it. And with Call of Duty not being on there, it should not be a big deal. People are going to buy it if it's good. So it is what it is. Ball went on to say that some of the changes are resonating with Xbox users. However, he did not mention that the company had seen a lapse users return to service. Now, I will say this. I don't think they got millions back in return because of the price went down from 29 to 23, but I'm pretty sure they got people that are coming back in fairly decent numbers. Some people just, they realize they can live without Game Pass, and it's cool. Like at $23, I didn't come back. I just stayed on PC Game Pass for $13. And, I thought that was much better for me. But, some people, just set it and forget it. Some people just forget it and don't go back to setting it. So with that being said, it just seems like that they are, they're going to be okay if they just do this the right way. It's unclear if more changes will be a setback from Xbox Game Pass, though Call of Duty games won't be arriving day one. Subscribers are still just treated to big games on their release date. Xbox Game Pass just revealed 17 new games on the way, including titles like Halo, Spyro, and Fable. The price drop service is one way to draw users back, but having high quality games will be another key element. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's not the fact that the price is one thing. I mean, for me, it's like cool, but you got to do this right. You got to have the games worthwhile. And I don't think Call of Duty is the end all be all. So they should be okay without that. But nevertheless, you got to have some games that's worth the price of admission. If it's $23 a month, and I think that's somewhat of a fair price. I don't think they should go no further than 24. I think 23. Personally, I think it should be 19, but that's another story. But I think 23 is like pushing it. You can't go no further than that. And if you're gonna have the new Halo on there, you're gonna have Spyro on there, you're gonna have Fable, like all the games they showed on, what they did show on the showcase, it may be worth it. The 23 a month. So all in all, I think they're gonna be okay. But at the end of the day, they're just gonna have to need exclusives on the consoles. And some of these games should be exclusive, personally, that we just mentioned. And that just goes to this right here. Xbox exclusivity will be decided on a case-by-case basis. I don't think this is a good idea. I think they're like, look, you need pretty much every game that you can put on your platform to be exclusive. You are way behind in the console race. And I know people don't believe in the console race, but you don't, when you're looking at, people that are invested in your company, stakeholders and shareholders, they're going to want to see some good numbers. And if you're falling behind when you have games that are worth putting on your console exclusive wise, you got to answer those people. So I'm pretty sure with the feedback of us gamers and people that are actually have stake and stock into the company, they probably said something about this. Like, look, man, we're going to have to do something. And there's no doubt that Xbox their games do sell. Just look at them on PlayStation. So it's like you gotta lock that box. You gotta keep that box in the lock so people could be like, yo, I gotta get an Xbox to do this. It's the only way it's gonna work. Now let's look at this and see what it says here. Xbox Chief Content Officer Matt Booty have stated the first party releases from Microsoft will be console exclusive on an individual basis. Booty's statement came following confirmation that two major Xbox releases arriving later in 2026 and 27 would not be ported to other consoles such as the PS5. During the Xbox Game Showcase on June 7th, Microsoft pulled back the curtain on games from coming to Xbox Series S and Windows PC throughout 2026 and beyond, along with providing more details of upcoming releases like Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 4, and Fable. Showcase also revealed the third-party games, highly anticipated Persona 6 and Castlevania Belmont, which title appeared in the Xbox Game Showcase, but also clarified platforms will be released on PS5 and Switch too. They need to stop doing that. Even if it's coming out on PS5 and Switch 2, they don't need to show that in their showcase. I said that on the live stream. That's something they do not need to do because it's still giving your people, your gamers, a false sense of hope that, hey, Xbox is the place to be. Because on PlayStation, they don't show the Xbox logo on their showcase. On Nintendo, they don't show nobody else's logos. So Xbox needs to get away from that. And even if these games are multi-platform, you still gotta have that sense that people's like, yo, I got an Xbox in our ecosystem, and I'm not even thinking about the PS5 because when you're advertising for another company, even if the game is going to be over there, you're still advertising for another company, and that's not really smart at the end of the day. The way I look at it is like, look, you got E-Day coming to console as a console exclusive. I don't think that's coming to Windows PC. I don't think it is. The same thing with Clockwork Revolution. I don't think that's coming to PC based on what we see. Modern Warfare may not be exclusive, but you got to have certain perks in that game where they can't get nowhere else. Fable may need to be exclusive, to be honest. Spyro, another game that may need to be exclusive. Like, you need to start reeling some of this stuff in because, I even with E-Day, and I want to play E-Day, and I do like Clockwork, Revolution. It looks very interesting. If I have to go out my way to buy a Series X to play that platform, I will buy it. But I said this months ago, they need at least 3 exclusives. They need at least 3 exclusives for more people to actually be like, okay, Xbox is really being serious about what they're doing. And this is the thing. people still don't take them serious. People still think that EA is going to end up on another platform at some point. Some people still think that because Xbox has lost so much goodwill with their brand, people don't trust them until they actually show what they can do. And it's going to take a lot of goodwill. Like I said, they're going to have to. Personally, I think that if they really start making some exclusive things for Modern Warfare 4, if they make some more exclusive things for if Fable end up being exclusive, one big thing that they can do as well is put some exclusive stuff on Forza Horizon 6. That will be a really big deal, but it has to be locked to that console. That's just they're gonna have to start doing that if they want to be really taken real serious about what they're trying to do. Because nowadays it's like, okay, this is nice, but I'm still like not really sold on buying one of their consoles at this point, even though that those two games I mentioned are interesting. Is it worth the $649 if I buy a new one? Do I go to a place to get a second hand? I mean, what do I do in that sense? I'm looking at the ladder like, I don't know, man. I may just wait until I get one that's cheap and buy it. It's like, but a lot of people don't think like I think. A lot of people will go out and buy the console new, and with this upcoming, holiday, you gotta have a reason for people to want to buy this. Like I said, if they really was able to make some exclusive things for some of these games and make some of these games truly exclusive, they would probably win some people over. But they got a long battle ahead of them. But I don't know. It's like at the end of the day, the case by case basis thing it's a start, but they gotta get to the point where it's like there's no case by case basis. We gotta make sure our brand has some stronghold in, and I don't think they're doing a good job of doing that. Even though this is a start, they could do better. But nevertheless, now you got it. The Xbox, brand, they're trying to get back in the good graces of people. They're trying to make a name for themselves again with exclusives, and the Game Pass. They blundered that. If they lost millions of users, if they lost that many, they really blundered the situation. But nevertheless, you guys let me know what you guys think. I think Xbox is gonna be all right at the end of the day, but they're gonna have to keep taking these steps. They really are. But with that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here. Y'all take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Peace.